Can hear myself well.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, sorry. What in the Margaritaville is that?
The strawberry hibiscus. Truly.
Nice.
That's pretty good. Dude,
like
the margarita flavors are pretty fire. I've never had them before, but it's nice because it's summer,
Yeah, what was that one I tried?
you know.
The one you had last was like
Watermelon.
Watermelon something.
Watermelon, cucumber, something.
Yeah.
It's like all the tropical summer flavors.
That one was pretty good.
For real.
Not gonna lie, it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, having those in, like, the wintertime is kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting, like, Cayman Jacks sometime in the winter, and it just doesn't feel like quite right when you're getting it on like 80-degree, 90-degree days in June. Feels more correct to get a margarita.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nice on a warm night.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like
It's been so fucking hot. In the thick of it, really.
Mesoamerica is probably actually a pretty beautiful place to live.
Like
You know,
Central America or like South America?
Like Middle America,
Mm-hmm.
Mesoamerica.
Mm-hmm.
Like that region is probably just gorgeous. In terms of
Yeah. No, yeah, it's I mean, the landscape is like completely different. Like you think of it up here, it's just dense north woods kind of. I mean, we're in kind of more of the rolling hills kind of area, but it's like dense woods everywhere. A lot of humidity, a lot of like heavy rain, a lot of trees.
the plants up here have to be a lot more robust to like certain types of like climate differences.
Right.
That the ones down there don't have to, and it's sort of like they both have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Differences.
Yeah, they have to adapt through like wintertime.
They live differently.
Yeah. Yeah, you think
changes everything.
When I always went to like arid places, like dry, like deserty type areas, it is like it's just like desolate.
Yeah.
And but you still look around and there's life everywhere still.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different. It's just evolved in like different form into like a different pathway.
Mm-hmm.
But it does I feel like the desert always kind of feels lonely and like there's just like kind of the same gradient of like colors and like there's not like a lot of variety, whereas like in types of like trees.
Have you ever
like,
seen
like piney kind of?
Have you ever seen the
trees and stuff?
What's it called? Is it the rainbow eucalyptus or something? What is it? Oh, it's a eucalyptus tree. It's on Maui. It's like the most beautiful tree. Wish you could see it.
What does it look like?
Can I show you? Can I show you a picture of it?
If you have a phone.
Yeah, I'll just Google a picture of it.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Oh my god. And I don't know what it is about this type of eucalyptus tree.
Where does it grow?
On Maui, I saw them in like
Maui.
on like the mountain, like on Haleakala, like the main volcano of Maui.
Really?
Like on the mountain? Yeah, they're just like around.
Is it isolated to like that part of the world? Do you think? Because I know some species like that are crazy, where like they're only on
this
like
thing's
really
nuts.
Remote kind of areas.
I'm sure it like wasn't native.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that island got like what's brought to it and is new to the ecosystem flourishes.
Mm-hmm.
So a bunch of random shit gets like thrown into this weird ecosystem.
Right.
It's pretty crazy with plants and how that whole thing developed. But
dude, Hawaii though, like
what is it?
Hawaii's crazy in terms of like its location geographically. Just to think like how surrounded it is by just thousands of miles of water. You're just on an island.
Look at these trees, bro. They're like matte, sort of like
wow,
a birch.
That's crazy.
Even smoother though. They're so smooth.
Why do they look so
fake? They look, dude. It's crazy.
So it's like basically
colors are so vibrant.
Yeah,
they look like
there's like
strips.
Neon, kind of yellow, green, and red.
Let me see some of these pictures.
Basically, like
I said it
barks like a the bark structure is colored. It's like it looks like it's
tape
the
or
bark
something.
is
It's
like
super,
bleeding
like,
with kind of neon yellow. That's crazy, bro.
they look nuts. It's like a matte gray too. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
it's something like in nature that I've never seen in my life.
It looks
like,
palmy.
It's just,
it looks kind of,
I don't know.
Maybe not palmy, but it looks like the growth is very like linear. You know, like it's all like up and down. Like those stripes of color are all up and down. There's not a lot of like, it's smooth. Like the texture of it just
crazy. The bark, and that's just the bark. You know, I'm not sure what these look like on the inside, but they were crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the smell of there's like a mango forest where there's so many mango trees that like they can't harvest all the mangoes, so they all drop and they all start rotting. And there's this smell of rotting mangoes throughout like an entire environment.
Really?
You can't escape.
Rotting mangoes.
Yeah, it's a very unique, pungent smell. That's
Is it
sort
like
of
bad?
like
it's like a bad smell.
It's like kind of bad, sort of sweet, but it's weird because it's like millions of fucking mangoes rotting on the floor of the forest, and you're in it, and it's like it's a weird, distinctive.
So it's probably
smell.
Just like think of the fungus that are just thriving.
Probably.
Off
I mean,
shit.
it's like it happens.
Like
It's been
all the
happening
bugs.
forever. Yeah, it was thick. This shit was a thick fort. Like it was very thick.
Dude, think of all the bugs.
A lot of bugs. Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they love it.
Dude,
Right out in the ocean too, just feeding them with all that like salt water and just water in general, and just like immense amounts of like chemicals.
When were you there again?
What was it like?
It was a while.
2018. Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah, that's such a like. I can't even imagine. I mean, I can imagine, but like the comparison.
Yeah.
Between like life there and like anywhere else in the world, really. Just being, I mean, you are like in the middle
of the ocean.
The ocean on an island.
Yeah, it's like thousands of miles in any direction. There's no land other than other islands.
And just millions of years of that forming.
It's pretty wild.
And then we get to just like enjoy it as
it's
humans.
A very unique place.
Yeah.
Especially like observing space, like having the, in my opinion, like the just zero light pollution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
I was kind of thinking of that too.
The only light pollution is below you. But if you got a night where there's clouds that are like lower than the peak of the mountain, and you're on the mountain, it blocks the light pollution from the city below, which kind of softens it even more. And then you don't have any light pollution around you in every direction for thousands of miles. So like every star that you like, so like it's crazy bright. You can see the Milky Way as clearest I've ever seen the Milky Way.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I took a picture of it just setting my camera on like the windshield of my car to stabilize it and just shot it. But I'd seen it in person before that, but it wasn't that intense. Like colors, purples, yellows, like visible to your eye.
I mean,
it was really like it was wild.
You're truly like the light pollution is probably near zero. Where in certain spots, I mean,
it's fun to see that. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's fun to see that kind of stuff.
Dude, I saw that probably one of the clearest, like, one of the clearest sightings I had of the Milky Way was like in Wisconsin, just like in the fucking, you know, in like the backwoods, like a back like highway or something.
That's where I saw it when I was a kid.
Like, it was like 10.
Growing up, like in
10 at night,
the Driftless region a little bit. So like.
Because you can go to places where there's literally just like farms around you.
Yeah.
And there's no light whatsoever.
You could see it from our like driveway sometimes.
And it's just like wild. The giant streak of stars. Fucking nuts.
It was very orienting for me seeing that. It gave me a perspective of like orientation in like three-dimensional space at a young age, which I think was like very helpful.
Right. Yeah. I feel like seeing the Milky Way and it's like full like awe and like glory like that is just like where like it kind of, I mean it's way different when you just like look up and you see a star or like you see Mars, but then like once you get a really clear night like that and you can see the whole structure of what we're swimming in, It's pretty nuts.
I don't even know if we're swimming. We're just kind of
Right.
We're just kind of
Floating.
We're just kind of flowing with it.
Floating in, whatever.
Yeah, like is like a electron that's part of an atom, like floating through the current of the stream of water in the river, or is it swimming through? It's probably floating through. I bet the current is just like,
Yeah.
it's doing it.
Taking it.
Electrons is there for the ride, kind of
Right.
thing. Sort of that.
It's like catching. It's like catching. Catching like the tide or whatever, or like the current
I don't know.
in a stream. It's just like a little organism in the ocean that catches like a fucking like a current. It can't do anything. It's just floating along for the ride.
It can. It's like
a little plankton that doesn't have that's like us.
I think it's
Like,
so cool that
that's
there's
like
like
Earth.
ocean fish that are predators that have like other species of fish that swim around on their backs and like or whatever, and like they have a symbiotic like coexisting relationship, but like the shark doesn't want to eat the things, but they're benefiting from like living with the shark, or a whale or whatever. It happens
Like the
with,
organisms that
they
just
like
suck on.
well, they like
stick
find
on.
it. They find a connection that's beneficial for both of them. So it's like you start seeing these like multi-species coexisting. It's like even in ocean water, like you know what I mean, with these with animals that live in the ocean.
Yeah, it's a strange life.
No, it's cool. It's good
It
to
is
see.
cool.
Yeah.
It is cool, but like, yeah, it's like
Did you ever see that video of the
just
freaking,
relying on another animal.
the
It's kinda
whales?
interesting.
The whales sleeping. The guy who was diving and there was
like they were like sleeping
just vertically.
vertically. Yeah, that's pretty
wild.
creepy.
That's
It looked kind of creepy.
Yeah, I've always thought about that. Like, how do they sleep? And I guess
Yeah.
it's short. They don't sleep very long.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, like 15 minutes at a time or something. But I don't know how many intervals of that they have to do throughout the day. But because they got to breathe. That's the thing, too. Like, to an extent, how long can you hold your breath?
Right.
Well, they're pretty big. Probably can hold a pretty big breath.
Mm-hmm.
But still, they got to get up and breathe.
Yes, I feel like, and seeing a whale, like, kind of laying vertically
Yeah.
in the ocean, it's just like so odd to what you normally see in like pictures.
It seems mystifying. Like yeah.
It's just like to completely define like the like typical image of a fish that's kind of like what is like horizontal, I guess.
We do it
But-
in air.
Right.
It's just the opposite way. We sleep for this way, and then
That's
we
true,
stand
yeah.
up when we're like awake,
Yeah.
and we run about our like
That is true.
our ocean of material air, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like seems weird, but it's probably
It's like the opposite.
they're mammals, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I don't know about dolphins how they sleep. John was talking about this, how, and I haven't looked into it, but I kind of believe it. Like they're able to like use half their brain and let the other half sleep, and then like switch between the
What
two,
the
so
hell?
they never have to like sleep. They can just constantly like. If that's pretty wild.
That's crazy, bro.
If that's like how it works.
They can like flip on, like kind of rest one half, and like
Yeah,
it's
and
like maybe kind of like a
it sort of checks out with the fact
airplane
that they're
mode where they're just like chilling.
Isn't it? Don't they say that dolphins have like a brain that's like a human's but twice as big?
Yeah.
So wouldn't that kind of connect with that ideology where like then they really use a normal brain like ours, but they're able to just like recharge their other brain and flip between the two to stay constantly like conscious and
Right.
It's like I don't know,
Kind
it's
of like
weird. I don't-
yeah, kind of like an airplane where you're just
so,
like
so that yeah, I don't know.
yeah, they can like recharge, but at the same time stay alive. Dude, dolphins are fucking strange, man.
They're crazy, like good crazy. I think that's good. They're good. Crazy.
Yeah, no, it's nuts because I actually wonder about dolphins. Sometimes it just pops into my head like, man, what the hell do they know?
Probably
Like they just must be.
I think they're very intelligent.
They just must be literally, like the intelligent race of
The ocean.
the ocean.
They're like they're like us, like sweet, docile,
Mm-hmm.
normally fun, having fun, and then like they're also had the capability of being absolutely ferocious killers, and that's like what we are, you know. So it's
Right.
like it's you know,
And they're not like
they're
that big. I mean,
no, and
compared to like
neither are we.
compared to like sharks.
You know what I mean?
they're
Like
just,
lions bigger than us.
but they have like a lot of
fucking
crazy
gorilla
abilities.
is bigger than us.
Mhm.
So they're like it's a pretty weird. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's their intelligence and their smarts stuff.
think they're
And
pretty
they have
smart.
like some pretty nuts. Like they can like they're like telepathic. I think to a certain extent with each other, right? I think I
Probably.
think I may have heard that somewhere.
With some way that they send
Like-
and receive signals like
Yeah.
through water. I mean, I can imagine that they're able to like vibrate or create a frequency that they could like communicate on.
Something like that. Yeah.
However they do.
They have a language for sure.
Yeah.
Like
It's like when you hear those. Were we talking about that? Where you hear the whales, like, in videos and stuff. Or else.
I know whales can for sure.
So
They can like
us.
can't they communicate like halfway across the world?
Yeah, they have very like long distance calls. So remember that guy Brody? I think his name's Brody, the Youngbloods dude.
Yeah, he's sweet, dude.
Yeah. So in
Yeah.
a lot of his like diving
That shit is
videos,
sick.
right, you hear like the whales talking, coming like the sound of their calls. You can just hear them if you listen. Because it's in the audio that's coming in while he's like underwater on a reef or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that there's a whale like right there. The whale could be fucking distances away, but the fact that they're able to do that and like it's being picked up on like a camera or an
Right.
audio recording thing that's on this guy doing like a video on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty wild. And then
Oh wait, so they actually picked up?
yeah, well, it's like
They could pick up like the frequency that the whales are transmitting, like kind of
you can just hear it.
figure out.
It's just amazing that you can't. You probably
Right.
could take it further, but and like track them. But that's
Yeah.
just the fact that it travels that like
That
crisp throughout that much water,
right.
that it's being received in that like mic of
Yeah.
sorts, that you can recognize it even,
Mm-hmm.
and then even recognize that it's a crisp sound. It's like then. I was talking to John about this, and he did like scuba diving and stuff, and like snorkeling when he lived in Maui, and he like vividly remembers hearing that too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like while he was out swimming in the water, you can just kind of hear like the whales.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like just their calls just travel forever. Like not really, but
Mm-hmm.
that's impressive.
Yeah, no.
Like, how does
I know.
that?
Yeah.
What?
And they have like different types of signals and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty fucking amazing. And yeah, I mean, it definitely, and it keeps them alive. Like that I feel like if you like those species that can communicate on different types
They're
of
a family.
levels, they can
have families.
Right, they have families. That those are like very complex organisms.
Whales and dolphins are mammals, which is like
Mm-hmm.
we are mammals.
Right.
Like you can't really separate that fact. Like
Mhm.
we've decided that that's pretty. I think that's pretty
Dude, there was
common
like
knowledge.
there was like a, what was it? Like a Greenland shark or something
Mm.
that somebody photographed, and it was like the oldest recorded ever. Like Greenland, I think it was I don't know exactly. I think that
I'm not
might
sure.
have been what might have been the species,
What species?
but it was like
Oh,
of a
shark.
of a
Oh,
shark.
oh.
And it was
I see.
it was like 800 and like I know like 350-ish years old. It was around when like America was like just becoming like the United States were just becoming like the United States, like in the 1700s. Like it was around back then, and it was still living. And
So it's like the oldest living shark.
or like the oldest recorded, like I think like species of like that shark or something. It's
Hmm.
like one of the oldest recorded like fish, basically. Like 300 to 400-ish years old, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Pretty
It's a long
freaking
lived
crazy.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose when you're in the water, imagine how much less energy you have to use fighting gravity, which is what we have to do, you know?
Yeah.
We gotta fight gravity like a bitch.
Right.
They have a little bit easier time with that, so they could probably live a longer life if they're smart and their bodies
Yeah.
develop that way.
Mm-hmm. They got all that pressure though too, but
Not if they stay like they're a mammal, so they have to
Mhm.
stay by the surface to breathe.
that is pretty. It's like a prehistoric thing
So
almost.
you have like the least amount of pressure
Mm-hmm.
throughout your average like lifespan of compared to something that isn't and does go deeper,
Mm-hmm.
but lives on different like sets of.
There's like
Rules.
a. What the hell was it again? Too? There was like a something I saw out in Washington.
Yeah.
It was like a. It was just like a huge kind of. What the hell species was it? I think it was either like some sort of trout or like muskie,
Mhm.
like something like that. It was like 100-ish years old. They had it in a like a little aquarium thing
Mhm.
that was caught like on the West Coast. It was yeah, some crazy old fish.
Probably like a trout or a salmon.
It was huge, dude.
Could
It
have
was
been like a salmon. Did
20
it have a big jaw on it? Like
it was like 20
Colorful.
or it was like 15 feet long, something like that. It was big, like really, really big.
you should look that up. What is that?
It was like kind of it was like slim, kind of like it was weird, dude.
Was it a gar? Did it have big long mouth?
Kinda.
Like scissors?
Yeah.
For
I
a
mean,
fucking
like
mouth, like a literally its mouth is like
no, it wasn't like no. It was some sort of like inland fish. Yeah. I forget exactly, but it was pretty cool.
I gotta see it. I want to see it.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I mean, my phone. You could try looking it up.
Oh shit! You're right. Oh shit! Yeah. What is
all
it?
my
What should
all
I
of
look
my
up?
electronics are
They're
being-
captive.
being
being
utilized
used- Yeah.
at this point.
They're under capture.
Yeah.
Paul has captured all of the electronic devices in his possession.
Look up.
They are being held hostage.
Shit.
At,
Look up.
held hostage at paulselectronics.org / RSVP.
Look up oldest, or look up like Washington State oldest living fish or something, or like Oregon State, like Pacific Northwest oldest living fish.
So it's still alive?
Because I saw, they have it in like a little aquarium
Oh, it's a sturgeon.
tank. Yeah, it's sturgeon.
It's a sturgeon, yeah.
Yeah. Let me see it.
Here, hold on. These are like the images that just popped up. That's a sturgeon.
Yep, that's definitely.
Is that what it
it.
was? Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Dude, sturgeon are crazy.
Yeah, it was huge, bro.
They're so. They look like the most badass fish you've ever seen, and then they are kind of like sissies. They don't want to fuck with you. Like they're just little like water dogs.
Yeah, literally. Like that. Yeah. Yeah, it was just like floating
They're-
around, like kind of just chilling. I mean, it was like
They're sick.
it was damn near 150 years old, 130,
sturgeon?
150 years old.
Are really really cool fish. You see?
They live a long time.
Yeah. Well, they're like a dinosaur. They're actually one of like the most prehistoric fish in the world. Yeah.
Really,
Their species is like one of the oldest.
really.
Yeah.
Damn.
Not so that, which makes sense and ties back
Yeah.
to your story about
Mhm.
it being like a really old living creature.
Mm.
That species is so like tough, bro. They're
Yeah.
tough, man. And they don't
Just like,
eat like
it just survives.
they're built like tanks. Like
Yeah.
you pick them up and they don't feel like fish.
Really,
Dude, they have skin. They're not slimy. They feel like leather.
really
Yeah, it's like tough leather.
interesting.
They're very like they'll have cuts and fucking battle marks on them when they get big. And
Damn.
they don't like they're not aggressive. They're not like a predator. They kind of just scavenge,
Right.
right? So
And they just take hits.
yeah, even they like don't really I want to say I've never like stuck my hand in its mouth, but I think it's just like a catfish to a degree where they don't have. It's just like a big bone and like a sucker. But they're crazy looking.
Dude, yeah.
And so like they're not gonna like they're not dangerous to handle, and they don't even mind because like your handling of them with your hands, as long as you're not sticking your hands in their gills, because you don't need to. If anyone lands a sturgeon, you want to grab their tail and just like it has a bone that goes up right behind your thumb, and it's like a handle. And they've got a really strong spine, a lot of muscle. They're super strong fish. And so then you can just kind of ease them out and like hold them by their stomach right behind their like, they've got these like little like rib cages, right? And just like,
just hold it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to like stick your hands in their gills and shit like and like damage that. Because they are a fish that will live a long time. So you want to be careful. And that's why there's like laws against netting them. You're not like allowed to net them. Because that's where the net could go in and damage the gills.
Oh, shit.
And there's other things that could happen. It's just like you don't net them.
You don't net sturgeon.
It's illegal, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Because like you don't need to, and that's another point. Like you don't need to
pull it out.
You just handle it like with respect. They're actually very easy to handle, and they are, like I said, a resilient fish. So like if you have them out of the water for a while too, like they're pretty like stable and able to get back going. Even after, sorry, I burped while I said that. They get back going pretty good. So like,
yeah,
they're fun to catch for sport, but I don't know.
Yeah, no. I mean, when I saw that thing, I was like, damn, this guy is seeing some shit. Because yeah, you're right. It was looking like pretty jacked up. Like
they live a long
the guy
life,
had
hard
like
life.
the guy had like scars up and down him.
Imagine you're
like he didn't look like good.
Well, there's like other predator
like,
fish, like
right,
big muskies
right.
and pikes and stuff in those waters that are like trying to eat them, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe when they're young or whatever, but like
it just
that's life.
keeps on going, man.
They're fucking resilient.
Right.
It's cool. You look at the old ones, or there's some in, I want to say, like the Tennessee waters. I saw that video where there's the guy releasing the one that's like white and black.
What?
It's
Really?
a monster, dude. It's like a 15-footer, and it's just in the wild. And I don't know if they caught it, but it's this guy who's like releasing it, and the fish is like 2 times the size of him.
Jesus Christ.
You got to see this. You actually like
2 times the size one.
I think it was, yeah, dude. Massive sturgeon caught. Bro. Was it that?
Yeah,
Look at some of these. In just a
Jesus
wild.
Christ.
They are huge.
Yep.
But the thing is when they're that
is
size,
a monster fish.
like I said, they're not trying to like fuck around with you. So you could be swimming in the water and it would just be like, oh,
Yeah.
what is that?
I mean, you're
Too
looking
much
at
work.
you are looking at a dinosaur of a fish with like, yeah. I mean, that skin looks like a shell.
Oh yeah,
With,
this species came from the ocean. It had to. Like it was
4 guys, 5 guys handling one 20-foot long. I mean, it's damn near a shark at that point.
Yeah.
Almost. I mean, not. It isn't, but it's like as big as a small shark.
Dude, yeah.
Like.
Look how beautiful the coloring gets too on them. Like they're nuts. The fin is the size of this man's entire torso.
Yeah.
Just the back fin. It's astronomical. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
Those dudes look hyped.
yeah.
Can you imagine pulling that out of the water? Oh my God.
I saw these videos of
Dear
these guys.
Lord.
There's some like on the internet's hilarious. You find so many funny videos.
Yeah.
This guy's like being pulled in an ocean kayak. He's kayak fishing. He's like being pulled pretty quickly across some like kind of rapid water. Like he's hooked in and fighting a sailfish that's the size of his entire kayak, and he jumps out of the water right in front of him. And
Oh my God.
It's
He's like out in
What
the
do you
ocean.
do in that situation?
Right. You're just in a tiny little kayak.
This fish was just pulling him around. What was he doing? Holding on to like the handlebars, you know? It's
What
like
was he gonna do?
he basically was a tube, and the like sailfish was a boat pulling him, and he was just on for a ride because like, what the fuck?
That thing was just like massive.
Oh yeah, it was huge.
Dear God, that's hilarious.
I don't know what you do in that situation,
dude. That guy, the Youngbloods guy.
Yeah,
I forget his name, but
I think it's Brody.
Yeah, Brody.
I think,
dude, he does some crazy awesome shit.
He's a fantastic person.
Oh my God,
and he makes great
the videos
content.
of him like sticking his hand just in like random holes.
He's like, there's more crab in there.
In like, just looking for.
He bit me.
Looking for crabs.
Here we go.
Like
pulls them out. Look at his jaw.
God, man.
He's gone.
I can't even begin to imagine sticking my hand in like a dark hole filled with mud and just
there was that one time there was that ferocious looking brown.
Around.
Do you remember the one? It was like a ferocious looking mad dog of a brown fish. And he like reached into a dark hole, he's shoulder deep. It like bit his hand completely, and then he was like, "Oh, bit me!" And then he just like grabs it, and it's shaking. He's like, it's wrestling.
He's like on his hand.
Oh my God!
I don't know if I saw that one.
It was because it wasn't just a crab. It was like this fish was ferocious. It was trying to like get this man. He got backed into a corner. It was insanity.
Oh my God! Yeah. He always has the disclaimer: don't go out trying this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing this a long time, kids.
I had a weird like connection with like him in the fact that in one of his videos he's out fishing and he's like stumbles upon this like fishing pole. It's like just like disarray. It's got shells and shit on it, and he sees it and he jumps in the water and goes and grabs it, and it's like, I guess the second time that has happened to him. And like, to me, I want to say a couple months ago, I was fishing down in Illinois and I like caught a guy's rod and then pulled it out of like some turbulent water below a dam. It was like,
I remember you telling me that, yeah.
And I pulled it up and I'm like, what? He's just catching fishing poles? Yeah. And then there's this other dude, Andy Yak Angler on YouTube. He's got dope fishing content.
Right.
But he also caught a rod off of like some sticks and stuff. Like there's this point, I feel like, when you're fishing and you fish so much that it's bound to happen.
Yeah. You're gonna catch some weird shit. You
pull into some weird shit, and like I feel like if you do it enough, you're catching somebody's rod. And the best part is, it's like, okay, free rod. It either is decorative or a good story, or maybe it's useful and you can use it. And like either way, it's like it comes with this ambiguous story because you just don't know where it came from. And in every single situation where someone catches a rod or finds a rod that's like randomly comes up out of the bottom of a river or something, it's always like, how did this get here? you know,
like, how did this
and
happen?
you never know unless you're the one who fucking dropped it,
right?
You know, like I was up in where was I?
It's a little memento. It's like a time capsule.
I flipped a kayak one time and dropped the rod. You know, it's like someone's gonna catch that rod someday.
You flipped a kayak?
Yeah, and
all the rods and the rod came out.
It was like white capping, and my dad never kayak fishing. I flipped it, and like so it happened so fast, and I was like not sure what to do, and I accidentally let go of the rod and grab some other shit, and it sank to the bottom. But the point is like that rod now is probably gonna surface up somewhere in some other fisherman's life,
right?
Or it's just gonna sit on the bottom until whatever. But it's kind of a weird like circle back. But then like I also have randomly caught some rods. Like I catch baits all the time. That's the fun stuff.
Yeah, the shit you find.
Oh yeah,
the shit you find, man. I can't. Yeah, there's always those dudes too who like will literally go like scuba diving in
baits,
like
high traffic fishing spots. Yeah.
And also in just like waters that you can't even like see in, just like muddy ass, like creeks, and just like weird places. They'll just literally put on their scuba gear and be like, all right, let's go see what we can find. That stuff's pretty cool.
That was that one.
They'll pull out like just really weird, random shit, you know?
Yeah, there's a running joke when I fish the Fox River. Most of the time when you step over something, it's a tire. There's like a tire every oh, what's that? Oh, another tire. Hey, look, there's a tire over there. Like tires are like rocks in the river now. It's weird. But
Really?
yeah, well, at least in spots. Yeah, it's like a joke. It's like they are all over the place.
That's kind of shitty.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not good.
Yeah, it's not exactly the best thing.
No, but I'll catch. It's fun. You catch into somebody's line. You're like, oh shit, could be a free bait on the other end. You just pull it out. You know, like,
see what it is.
Free bait.
Dude, I lost my damn tackle box.
No.
Like, I don't know, a couple months ago. I was looking for it at my mom's place, and it was just like not there. It's like, what the hell?
Damn.
But it had all like my old, my dad's old like lures and stuff.
Yeah.
Baits, which is like cool too. Like when you get, kind of like old family gear and stuff, and just like
I feel that.
old lures that have like history to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
I've got
caught
baits.
a lot of fish with this. Like
I've got baits in my muskie box that like there's just a couple of them actually. Like one of them, we're fishing the Eau Claire River with Tyler. We're throwing for muskie, and there's this little spillway with some weeds that are like dropping off into this little pool. We're chucking muskie baits, and I was throwing a top water bait. It was green. It's made of like wood. It's an old like whopper plopper thing. It's huge though. Got caught on the weeds, and I snapped off. The current ended up knocking the bait off of the weeds, and Tyler like saw it come loose and start floating down the river, and he like threw a couple casts and just like landed on it and was able to like reel it in. It's like save the bait. So it's like this bait that's like super old. I think that's happened like twice with that bait. It's just like,
damn.
It's a weird story with just one bait. It's
right.
been, like, passed down.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know. Yeah, there's some cool stories. I feel like that always comes with like some old bait.
Yeah,
some old bait.
Old artificial bait.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Fishing's fucking it's good memories.
Yeah. Do we got another beer? Did you bring a cooler in here?
Oh yeah. Whatever you want out of it. It's just more margaritas. Margarita Trulies.
Did you put any of these Lannies in there?
No. What? You didn't ask me to.
Oh, I'm gonna hit my head on the counter. Come on, bro. Get the line.
Sorry, man.
I'm just playing. Represent the Truly Classic Lime.
Hell yeah.
In the koozie. That doesn't fit it.
Dude, we gotta hit the golf sometime soon too.
Yeah, as soon as my wrist is back in action.
Yeah.
That was really brutal.
Your wrist got messed up.
Dude, that was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I think I just sprained it from overuse, to be honest. I think I just put too much pressure on it at some point and didn't realize it. And it probably tweaked it. And then the continued use after that really put like a lot of strain on it. Yeah. And the next day it was just like so tight and locked up that I couldn't use it. It was like shooting pain. It was weird.
Wrist issues are fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had to get in there and I PT'd the shit out of this thing. And it's still like, it's almost there. I can still feel the tenderness in some of these spots. But
yeah.
I'm telling you what.
Dude.
I did some research. So this happened and I was like, I'm going to rest it. I said, pause, elevate, do all that stuff. And it didn't really like get that much better that first night. I was like, hey, is there any other advice? And I just looked it up on YouTube. Wrist issues. And found some guys and like watched some videos and sort of like took and heeded the advice of some of these like physical therapists that I just have YouTube content for free, which is awesome, And like, I'm not kidding you. Within like the next day, it felt twice as bad, like so much better.
That's good.
And then a lot of it was like, don't think about it as like when you have a wrist issue and you think it's a sprain and not like a break or something that's obviously causing sharp shooting pain. Like gradually working your range of mobility is the most effective way to do it. And it's a lot to do with the fact that like something in there is locked up tight within all those micro bones. And if like 4 or 5 of them are locked up, it could be causing a lot of stress on the other ones. And like you just kind of need to knock those spaces open that are like causing like a cease, like a locking.
Yeah.
And by doing that, like the goal is to get whatever that substance is think about it like an equation that needs to leave the area, and blood needs to flow into the area to come and heal like that area. So you have to kind of do like compression, or think about it like damming a river for your veins, like builds up this pressure to then like work some mobility and then take that compression off, and it floods like the area with a lot of blood, which also streams out like the stuff that needs to be like diluted back into your like system.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, and
Dude,
it's effective. It is effective.
I feel like the icing and the resting is definitely important.
It is,
because
yes.
I had
all the things.
some weird ass issues when I was doing like package handling stuff, where you're just like lifting like huge packages, like heavy packages, and just lifting like really, and you're putting your wrists in like very awkward angles to like lift these packages. And what happened was in like my right wrist, what was happening was the bone was going on top of like basically like it's like it's when the bone and the tendon kind of come out and they kind of like go over each other.
It's called subluxing.
It's kind of, I forget what it's called, but it's like relatively common when you're doing a lot of like kind of like when you're doing a lot of like repetitive motions and putting your kind of hands in weird awkward angles. It's pretty common. It's like
that happens to my IT bands on my knee.
Yeah.
When I go past a certain point, it snaps over a bone.
Right.
And then goes back.
Doesn't feel good at all.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just not good.
It's like a weird feeling. It doesn't feel like secure.
Right.
Tight.
Yeah.
Like
so I was
like
getting
loose.
I was getting that with my wrist, and every time that would happen, it would just be like, God damn. You know, you can keep working, but it's just like every time it happens, it's just bound to happen more.
Right.
So, and yeah, when you're doing kind of like a job like that, it's just kind of like just comes with it. You just have to be like more careful. You have to pay attention more.
Way more.
To like what you're doing, how you're lifting, keeping yourself because at the end of the day, the responsibility falls on your shoulders to be like.
I learned damn well from working
safe.
at the DC at Menards, like doing the unloading shipments and stuff, like literally unloading trucks or whatever. It's like in like strength and condition training and stuff, and growing up in high school, like they're always, bend at the knees, lift with the legs, not at the back, that kind of shit, lower your hips, like all that kind of stuff. It's like to this day, like it is so important that you bend at the fucking knees and not at the hips when you're going to lift something heavy. And it's so easy to want to bend at the hips because it's not hard to do it. Like your body's able to, but if you start picking stuff up that's heavy and just like dropping your butt as low as you can and actually just like scooping it and using your legs, you'll find it's actually a lot easier to pick stuff up with your legs because that's what it's meant for. And then your backs you don't hurt your back as much. And it gets to a point where it's like a healthy amount and you're like not hurting your back anymore. You know what I mean? And it's like, I see other people in my life too. I can tell who understands that and who doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something that like is a problem for me. It's everyone needs to figure it out. Like that's something that all humans have to pick stuff up.
Right.
And there's a way that's better for your like body to do
100%.
it. And you're going to be like more healthy and successful with your life if you just learn to do that.
You don't want to be lazy in terms of like if you're doing like you don't want to be lazy in terms of like
in general.
Yeah, like technique. Like if you're doing and the big thing is the older you get, like the more conscious you have to be about like warming your body up and like not going into anything cold because like I know damn well that if I'm not warmed up, like loose, and, like my muscles are good to go, and I feel like good before like I need to lift something heavy. Like if I just have to lift like I don't know, like that little table over there, like a little bedside table or something. I just want to move it for some reason, or like a chair, real heavy chair.
Yeah.
I'm just like, and I'm just like, all right, let's do it. Not warmed up at all. Go down to pick it up. Easily could just like tweak a back muscle.
Yep.
Tweak like a hamstring.
Yeah.
So it's just like you just gotta fucking.
My neck's been kind of killing me recently sleeping, and I gotta figure out why and like how to effectively change it. What I really want, I really want to try just one of those pillows that's like just round and just goes on your neck, like just goes on your neck, so that your head lays like, so your neck is straight.
It's round. It's a round pillow.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah. So just your neck is being.
How
like,
big is it?
It's pretty small, just enough to prop your neck up.
Yeah.
Imagine rolling a towel like up into a tube.
I'm gonna make sure
You know what I mean?
the phone is still going.
Okay. Back down.
Never heard of a round pillow.
I think it's pretty popular in like a lot of areas around like China and Japan and like Taiwan, and I think maybe Korea's. It's very like Southeastern Asian thing. I'm pretty sure to have like just like a neck support, because they'll sleep, and it helps like align your spine, and it makes sense. In my opinion, I want to try. I feel like I always want that support tucked up under my neck, but then maybe the whole pillow is like kinking it like at an angle, so it's not like supported fully. It's causing me fucking like neck pain.
You know what I recently have found out that I have an issue with when I sleep?
What's that?
I grind.
Your teeth?
Yeah. Isn't that fucked?
I think we all do. I do too.
Dude.
I have a mouth guard, but I can't, like, it falls out. I can't wear it. I've tried.
Tess told me that, and I was just like, wait, with like this, because like apparently it makes like a squeaking noise.
Oh no.
Yeah. So like,
yeah.
Which is just like kind of messed up, and I didn't realize that at all. It's definitely just from like stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I looked it up, and it was just like number one thing that causes stress and anxiety.
It causes the stress and anxiety, or
like grind.
It's
caused by stress.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Which is crazy, because you would think like when I sleep pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I'm a pretty good sleeper. Like I don't generally like wake up like throughout the night by much at all. So I don't know. It's weird.
One of the things that's funny in the show Ted Lasso, where they're like, he's always like, "Hey, if you see me over in the dream world, like, say what's up." But let's keep it cool over in our dream half of life. You say like, what did he say in that one scene? He's like the first one.
Yeah, he's like he like leaned over and he's like, "Hey, if we see each other in our dreams, let's pretend like we don't know each other. Like, have fun for a little bit."
Yeah.
I was like, that. Well, okay.
Yeah, we all go into dream world. And then
I was like, I thought it's like, wait, what?
It's kind of like a dolphin snapping into dreamscape and then snapping back in. We just rest during it. I don't. Is it similar?
Dreams are interesting.
I think they're cool. I like them. I wish I could remember them. And I want to write them down, but I don't have time for that. I just let them slip. I let them be. I let them pass. They're like, if I had written down every dream I've ever had, that'd be a crazy book. They're nuts. I have the most vivid dreams.
Same. I've had some very, it's that feeling when you wake up, and the craziest thing is that feeling when you just come out of that vivid dream, and it's like,
morning time, and you look over and there's sunlight coming in your room, but your head is still there.
It's weird.
And you have this split reality because that dream was so real and it felt so real, but your eyes are open, seeing the real world around you, but your head is just in a completely different place, and you're just like coming back to this reality, and you're like, wait, what? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the craziest fucking feeling. I've had that probably less than a dozen times. Probably less than a dozen times in like my life where it's been like that intense. Like it's not like that. Yeah, it's not that common. It's like pretty rare. I mean, because you do have those dreams that are like pretty vivid. Like they're like pretty vivid, and you wake up and you're like, you can remember everything, but you're not like completely split. Like you wake up and you're like, oh, that was just a dream, but like, damn, that was a cool dream.
Yeah.
But then there's those dreams.
A little wide, like.
Then yeah, it's like a spectrum. Then
but not like
there's those like
sphere of like
dreams that come around every once in a while. Where you wake up and you're like not there at all. Like your head is not here. It's like not on Earth. But your eyes are seeing your room filled with sunlight, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Probably trippy.
Dude, yeah.
I don't know.
Have you ever had that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm able to like dip in and out of it so easily. Like switch it, like wake up from a heavy dream, like go back to sleep, be transported to like something completely different, unaware.
Oh yeah, you can go back in
of the prior state, and like not even the same world thing, anything. It's just completely different. Wake up again, and then it's like I could go back, and maybe I'd go back into one of the other ones, or enter like a whole new world, and then wake up again and be like, okay, ready for the day. That was weird, and then maybe forget by the fourth one, like the first two or whatever. But it's like it's pretty weird. But recently have had like things in real life in my environment like affecting the world in my dream, and I've been recognizing.
Really?
It's weird. Yeah. The other day it was fucking weird, man.
What happened?
So like, I try to get up by 8:00 to shower. So like, from 7:30 to 8, I set my alarms pretty rapid. So that I have, like, it's just fucking, like, it's so annoying.
You have to get up.
It's so annoying that it's, like, even if I am not up before then, which I tried to be, it's, like, a last alert, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I vividly remember this because I told this story to someone that I work with, to John, because I was, like, so shook up by it that I didn't know what to think, dude.
My dream. It fucked me up.
Yeah, we were I can't remember who was there, what was going on, and a lot of the details, but basically, like, we were in a ship. Like a spaceship, sort of like some sci-fi, like Star Trek kind of vibe of ship.
Who was in the ship?
Like a bunch of people I knew and stuff, like you, and I'm probably a lot of people, like, you know, it was just like, it was very real to my life. I felt like very real, and I was hearing this alarm going off on the ship, like a warning alarm, like red lights, a warning alarm, and it was after we had watched that movie.
Star Trek?
It was after we had watched that movie Archive, so sort of similar to like that's probably what was putting me in that situation.
The 2049 movie?
Yeah, the one where the guy was
with
like
the
robot. Yeah, and
dude, I was gonna ask you what happened with that movie because I went to bed.
That movie was nuts. So anyway,
and I was like way too tired.
This dream was like so real to me, and it was like I feel like people I knew, and I was in that whole realm, and I like was asking everyone like what the fuck is going on, like there's an alarm going off, how do we turn it off, right? Like tweaking. And if you can obviously see where this is going, I like woke up and it was my alarm going off that like I was pissed at and didn't want to, like my subconscious was like didn't want to find and turn it off on its own, so it was like running around in my dream trying to like ask the people there what was happening, and then eventually my conscious self like snapped into realizing it was my alarm, and at that moment I like was awake looking at my alarm going off, and like I was like,
yeah, wait, like,
dude, it was weird, yeah, and I
like,
didn't know.
yeah, your subconscious is going like, hey, man, hey,
They were
hey,
like a
time to go to work.
fight
Go.
truth. It was, yeah.
Get up. The ship's about to blow. The
Mhm.
ship's about to blow. You're not gonna make it, man.
Dude, it was a trip. In like a good way, but just something really weird in it. Like I remembered it. It was like the last time I remember it. Like and that was a couple days ago. Not a couple days ago. Yeah, it was probably a couple days ago. Like 4 days ago, 3 days ago.
Dreams are strange, man.
No, they're good.
Dreams are strange.
They're good. They're good. They you need to
Something about when the lights go out. Like I think about that sometimes where it's just like you close your like you just the simple like act of just closing your eyes and everything you know is just gone. Like you can hear things, but like in terms of like just visually, it's just kind of like it's to me it's kind of weird, and like, you know, when you die you close your eyes and everything's just gone. And it's kind of like that, where you can almost kind of slip into like that state where just like nothing's there, you know, but like kind of like what you had in your head.
I think it's kind of hard to believe that we only have 5 senses for external,
Well, right, but just
stimuli,
like visually,
factors.
because
Right, I mean,
visually is
and
like in
visually
terms
is,
of
like,
like
high-
the earth and like
and-
just like see like everything around you, it's
Right.
just gone.
Someone here? Is
think
that
so.
Sue?
Yeah.
Okay, that freaked me out. Are
Hey.
you sure it's somebody? Do we know
What's
her?
up? Do we know you?
Do we? Who do you know?
Who do you know here?
Excuse me.
Hey, there's margaritas in the fridge.
I don't know if it's a margarita, but it's margarita flavor.
Yeah. No, but I think it's kind of weird. It's like kind of like the dreaming thing where you just close your eyes and kind of slip. You can just slip into like some sort of other reality, you know.
Yeah, I had someone tell me one time.
Your mic's falling.
How do I?
Here, you can just.
do I just push it up
Oh.
like that? How do you like tighten this?
Yeah,
It's pretty
just-
tight. It feels pretty tight.
Yeah.
I had someone tell me that every single day, every single time you wake up, you should absolutely like completely kill your ego every day. Like consciously tell yourself that like you're not going to like overreact or react hastily upon external stimuli. You're going to like just absorb like a sponge. Like you're not going to force opinion, you know, like kill some of those like things that you think you are the day before. Like start a new day fresh with a clear mind of embracing what's in front of you
Yeah.
every day, and like allow that to shape who you are for a bit, and see if it benefits you.
No, that's like
That's
it does super wise, I think.
Yeah,
Because I mean,
a
a lot of the
shit.
times we can just slip
Yeah.
into kind of rough like vibes, rough moods.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta pull yourself out. Like you gotta. I feel like going into having like that statement at the beginning of a day, kind of being like,
You have
hey,
to
like, let's do this shit right. Like,
yeah.
let's not
Just go up and do
not
your thing.
pull some bullshit, not overreact,
The whole reaction response thing is something I love to talk about. I don't know if we talked about it before on this or not, but probably we haven't.
What do you think about it? I mean, maybe. I don't know.
But to keep it short and sweet, it's like really easy.
It's like a dance.
Yeah, no, it's like a dance.
It's like-
man.
it's like a-
El
It's like a
Castillo.
romantic dance.
Yeah. Wow, we're gonna dance. I don't know what that was.
I don't either.
No, but the what were we talking about?
Your reaction and
About
response.
to launch.
What?
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on reaction and response?
Well, like
In terms of like
Okay,
what?
okay.
In terms of
I'll
like
give you an
what though?
example.
In terms of what? Because that could mean a lot of things.
Yeah,
Like
that's the
why do
point.
you like it so much?
That's the point.
Why do you find it fascinating?
I think it's-
Fascinating.
I think it's something that could solve so many people's problems in their daily lives.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that a lot of their problems could be solved with such a simple solution.
Hmm.
You know?
Like just like kind of stepping back and looking at it.
Yeah. No,
Like from like a outside perspective. Like
like being able to recognize whether or not you're reacting or responding to a situation throughout your everyday life.
oh, yeah.
And being able to teach yourself to eventually subconsciously react less and respond more. And like reaction is very important. So you don't want to like lose it, but you want to be able to recognize it and not react in situations where you should be responding. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I throw this at you.
Jake, why did you do that? That hurt my feelings.
Oh, you poor baby.
Now I could have punched you in the face. But that would be a bad reaction.
No, like
Is this the first lesson?
like that's just an example, a lighthearted example.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could
Yeah,
have reacted either way.
Could have like, boom.
But
But I didn't.
you thought about both of those ways to react, and then ended
I
up
would never do
responding
that, by the
kindly.
way. I would
You ended
never-
up responding
I would-
kindly
oh, yeah.
and laughing about it.
I would
and
never
then,
do that.
And then you know, that's kind of interaction that like is example. It happens everywhere, and I don't even really want to go into everything because it's at its core, it's a bilateral way of looking at like, you know, interaction with like you interacting with external.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a yin yang thing.
Yeah.
It's like you
hell
choose
yeah.
you choose one or the other.
Yeah.
They have like positives and
Well,
benefits,
it's like-
however it is because
Isn't that Newton's first law? Every reaction has an opposite and equal
That's like about
reaction. I don't fucking know.
that's like about energy transfer, and I
Right,
guess it is.
But it is kind
similar,
of like
yeah.
similar in a sense.
Yeah, philosophical senses.
Yeah.
Of sorts. I don't know.
Because
I think that like
your mood could be
it
energy.
basically can just mean I think take the time to listen and respond in most of your daily interactions, whatever you're doing, even if it's taking the time to listen to respond to your own thoughts. Like I feel like I need to get up and pee. Okay, like do you react get up and pee, or do you think about like should I, is there something else I could do right now and then go pee? Then you make a decision informally on responding to the feeling of having to go pee rather than just reacting. And sometimes when you gotta pee, you just gotta be like, okay, it's time to go. That's like your reactive response.
Right.
And there's benefits.
You gotta
to all
pee,
of
man,
it,
when you gotta pee.
But when it comes
Are you saying
to
something, Jay? Are you
hate
saying
and
you have
like,
to pee?
and like issues and stuff, like reflection is good. I think when we dream, we're sort of tapping into and accessing like our recall memory or like our core memory mixed with like recall memory, and we sort of like fabricate like a reality just based on like what we think is important to remember.
Dude,
Create these little
I
mini
feel like-
worlds, you know, like in our dreams.
I feel like once
we gotta get the information from
once we
somewhere.
figure out dreaming, because they don't know what the hell it is.
No, we still don't know.
Like
It's
we
like,
don't
no
know a
idea.
lot of things.
Yeah, about ourselves.
Like the greatest scientists in the world
yeah.
have like no idea about like these things. They don't have no idea like what dreaming really is, or how the like Big Bang Theory is like their best guess at like how everything started. there's a lot of things in the world that the best minds just like kind of basically give it their best shot, like best guess. And they're like, okay, this could work. Like a lot of, I think, like with dreaming, like a lot of people, like a lot of what I've like can remember is that dreaming is basically your brain processing like the information that you took with like that you kind of got throughout the day, like all of the things that happened to you throughout the day,
and decoding, and
yeah, it's like decompressing
it all.
Yeah, it's like decompressing it and like kind of storing it. Like that's kind of like
that makes sense, because if you don't sleep, you start going nuts because your brain's like can't. It's over. It's worked.
right.
It's got to store some of that information somewhere, and it can't. So it just starts hallucinating and like
yeah,
a little bit.
I think just like the types of dreams though, and like the dreams that people do have in terms of like the content and like what's in them and stuff is just like strange though. Like what you were saying with
It could be anything.
with kind of like a portal to like yeah sure, it could like the actual like purpose of it could be to be like decompressing all your collected whatever information, but
It could also be
on like another
real.
layer,
It could be real.
like some really fucking weird
Probably
shit.
It is real.
Like,
We have to agree. I would agree that my dreams are real.
you know,
I would go on the stand and say, my dreams are real.
you know that Elon Musk
what I mean?
is like.
They are.
Have you ever heard Elon Musk like thing about the simulation thing?
Mm-mm.
Where like he's basically says like there's a very small chance that we're not already in one. And then I think kind of like, damn, what if dreams are like the real,
Right.
like the other side?
Yeah. But it's not
Could
even
be,
the
could
other
be
side.
that,
Like,
could be that.
But
That's some crazy
think
wild
about,
shit.
Think about like, this is gonna sound kind of stupid and a bit cliche, but it's kind of interesting thought. Dreams, like we have dreams. What are your dreams? What are your dreams?
Mine
Your aspirations, goals, your dreams. What are they
in life?
for your life?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm saying, just you don't have to answer truthfully, but just throw something out. Like, what are your dreams? You want to be like an astronaut? Okay, no.
In terms of pursuits, I want to like get as good as photography as I possibly can and
Right.
live a happy life with the people that I love.
Right. And
take care, and most importantly, take care of the people that I love.
And so, Paul, that is not reality. That's a dream. And you have to go get it and make it real. But it's a dream, and you have faith in that dream. I think dreams are the same. Like, that's why we call them dreams, It's like, I had a dream about a fucking monkey flying a spaceship around the Eiffel Tower and like snapping people up in the streets with laser beams, That's a dream. I believe it's real. Like, I think what I'm trying to say is dreams are real. Just as real as the dreams you have and aspirations you have for the future aren't reality, but they're aspirations. Dreams are aspirations. They're like we have this like desire to dream about a reality. Whether or not it's close to ours is irrelevant. It's still a dream, and if you believe in it, that's justifies it. I think I would not justify.
It still happened in your head.
Dream to want to
Dude, a lot of my dreams have
Pretty well.
been like a lot of what I know from my dreams, my like very vivid ones. They're like they always involve me running from something. I'm always running from something.
Impending doom,
Which is fucking weird.
It's death.
There's like it's primal, bro. Like, dude, I'm like chased. I'm like being chased. A lot of my like crazy fucking dreams that I can remember, I'm always in every single one. I'm running from something.
My worst nightmares
Like,
are similar to
and
that.
it's not even a nightmare.
Even just in general.
It doesn't scare me. It's not like scary. I'm just literally like being chased by something. It's like, and I'm like going, a lot of them I can remember, I'm going through like just like beautiful like landscapes, very strange yet beautiful landscapes, just running through them from something bad is like chasing me.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
Have you ever seen it?
No.
I have not either.
Well, I don't know if
How do you
maybe
sense it?
I mean, I sense it as like kind of like I've sensed it as like kind of like a weird creature, like almost like a wolf or something.
Whoa.
Like a weird demonic kind of wolf thing. It's not scary though, and other times I've like sensed it as kind of like something from like the future. That's just like something I don't know what it is. But it's kind of just like chasing me.
It's aware that you're.
And I like have to. I'm just running, but like not. It's. I'm never like.
What if it's
tired?
Guiding you.
I'm never tired.
What if it's guiding you somewhere?
Yeah, it's almost like a feeling of like it's.
Or you're guiding it somewhere.
I'm just running to something or running from something.
Maybe
I'm not sure, but I'm always running. I'm always running through very kind
maybe
of
it's like a companion in your
odd
next life,
alien
and
landscape
it's like following you until the impending darkness suits and he joins.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's like a demon type thing, but
could be a friend.
It's been like this dark thing. It's like kind of like
Is this recent?
No.
This is a while.
No, these are just like it's happened multiple times. It's like when I was telling you earlier about the crazy vivid dreams where you wake up and you're in that split reality.
Yeah, which
those are those types of dreams where like
that's I think now that you're saying that that's what it reminds me of when I'm thinking about my like thing. It was weird.
It's like always really primal and like there's nothing really I'm just like it's just me in a landscape, whether it be kind of just like a weird alien world that's kind of beautiful or like kind of like a forest type thing, and I'm just running.
I would have these terrifying dreams when I was a kid at my grandma's house. She lived out in the middle of nowhere in Illinois. It was a town that I think was a township. It might have just been like a village. It had 4 houses on it, and it was called Williamsburg, Illinois. And it was just one road, 4 houses. That was like the whole town. It was kind of wild. But anyway, the house is super old, and my grandpa built it, and or his family built it way back. And we would go there and sleep at night and whatnot. You know, we were way out in the country, the fields in South Central Illinois. Like, you would be shocked. Mm-hmm. It looks like behind you, but flat, you know. And my grandma had these, like, huge orange lamps, like, that lights that were outside that would stay on all night.
Yeah.
And kind of old, creaky house. Crazy bugs like flying around these lights, like just swarms of bugs and stuff. But anyway, like I would wake up terrified in the night, and this happened persistently for years. Like up this noise, it was this darkness. That's all it was. It was like cold, heavy heartbeats of like pounding, like darkness.
Really?
And I would wake up sometimes in that state where like I couldn't move my body, but I could just like see around me, and it was like this orange glow of the lights outside leaking in through the windows, and you could kind of just see like her living room and where we were sleeping and our like beds that she had pulled out and stuff. Or it was this really weird nightmare that happened for like a while when I was growing up, when I'd be at my grandma's house, and it wasn't.
It
followed
bad
me
nightmares,
back,
bro.
like, sometimes to my place, but would eventually subside. It was this strange thing, and like I don't want to invite it back, but I'm just saying, like it fucked me up for a little bit. I was scared of it,
bro.
It was like a scary dream.
Can I tell you a story?
Sure.
I had, you want to talk about nightmares? When I was a kid, I would have the most intense fucking nightmares.
Really?
I would wake up screaming. Like, screaming and crying.
Do you remember what they were, or was it too young to remember?
I mean, a lot of the times it was just monsters. Just monsters.
Goblins and fucking
just
goobers.
Under my bed, in my closet, just fucking weird fucking shit. But there was this one time. And, like, keep in mind, like, I lived in a fucking house where it was just me and my parents, and we were in like the middle of a coulee, like really dark. There's nobody around really.
Yeah.
Just like a few neighbors here and there.
Yeah.
So like
good viewing point for the Milky Way.
it was awesome.
Yeah, fuck it.
But like at
Scary.
night it gets really dark.
Yeah.
And it's scary as a kid.
Yeah.
And so
fair.
like
yeah,
I'm in my
I feel
room
that.
and like it was this one time in winter and it was like dead winter.
Yeah.
Dark.
Yeah.
And I woke up, it had to have been like midnight, 1 a.m. All I can remember is I wake up and my whole room is red. Wow. It's like this glowing red and extremely dark, just shadows everywhere. Everything is red. And I'm just like looking around like, what the fuck?
I don't want.
And I just start like crying.
Freaking out.
And I'd go under like I had this little desk and I just like go under it. I'm just like huddled there. Like, what the fuck? And then I'm just like start calling for my mom. Calling for my mom and dad. Calling for my mom and dad. Probably like 10, 15 minutes. And they're like, this like, and I would have like terrible nightmares. This shit like happened like a few times.
So they would come
have
down
to like,
and you would snap back into reality.
well, their bedroom was like right next to mine.
So they come over,
But
though,
like
and you would like.
they would,
back.
yeah. My dad came in and he was just like, "Paul, what's going on? What's going on? What's
Whoa.
going on?" Like, and they would
I
have
used
to
to,
like
yeah.
chill me down. But like that night, my dad had to literally like I was so freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
My dad, I can remember this so clearly. He basically had to. It was like 1 a.m. The latest I've ever been up at this point in my life. I was probably like 6 or 7 years old.
Yeah.
1, 2 a.m. He takes me down to this park, and we go sledding.
Yeah.
And there's like 2-3 feet of snow on the ground, pitch black. There's like a light snow coming down,
Yeah.
very light,
You start tweaking.
just soft, very quiet. No, it was really good. It was
Peaceful.
nice.
Oh,
It was
afterwards.
After like this crazy
Nice.
fucking terrifying nightmare,
That's cool.
He takes me sledding at like 1:32 in the morning.
Yeah.
He was tired as fuck.
But it was snowing. Yeah.
But like it was a light snow coming down, and I was like looking around. I was like, "Wow, I've never been out this late at night. Like this is
Yeah.
pretty cool."
Yeah.
And like we just go sledding for like a half hour,
Be a goldfish.
an
Yeah.
hour,
Yeah.
and then like I ended up just going back. We ended up just going back up. I passed out at like 2-3 in the morning.
That's cool.
But it was like that type of shit where
Mhm.
like
It tweaks out.
my parents were basically like, "Damn, this kid just had like a brutal."
Yeah.
Terrifying nightmare.
Yeah.
Like,
we
there's
all do.
no
Yeah.
way.
I think we all do. Like, I think that's where we're so all. It's like where parents are good at
Dude,
sympathizing because it's like
that
they
shit's
understand.
crazy.
They've had bad dreams, you know. Yeah.
I feel like as a kid, it's just like so much more
Yeah.
like crazy.
It's like you're not
You
aware
get
of it.
scared.
Yeah, because we don't have the separation of like reality like you do when you grow up and have more experiences. Like think about it like half and half.
Like the
Of
first
your
time you
life
watch a
is-
scary movie,
You
you're
don't
just
know if
like,
your dream is like,
what the fuck?
yeah,
I remember watching like the OG Spider-Man and getting terrified of like the Goblin, like the or like
oh yeah,
the Goblin guy
yeah,
on his like.
yeah. He was spooky.
He scared the shit out of me. As like I was like a little kid, I was like terrified of it.
That's
I
funny.
couldn't even watch it. It was just like my dad had to shut it off.
Well, I for one like I don't know, embrace the spooky, I guess.
I mean, I love it now.
Yeah.
I like horror and like scary movies and stuff are like my favorite type of shit. But
The dreams can really wake you up too. They can like they've put me in like. Sometimes they force me to think about things that I'm like sad about, and I wake up like super, super sad about the thing that maybe I was too like afraid to go to that space when I was awake. And it's like I've cried it out in the morning, and it's helped me like heal from some things. So it's kind of crazy how it can work that way too. It can like
Dude, waking up.
clear your mind
yeah.
from things by like allowing you to access memories that you're just like too afraid to deal with.
I woke up crying before.
You know, like it's like
That's
whoa,
fucking weird.
You're like tripping out.
I've had that
It's
happen
like,
before too. Yeah,
it's a good thing. It's like a great thing. It's not a bad type of.
I've had it, dude. I've had it bad though. Where I've woken
Yeah.
up crying because like I've lost a loved one. I thought I
Mhm.
lost someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same. It can be like.
It can be like super intense.
That's where it's good. Like,
But then you wake up and you're like, oh my God, they're still here. Like, thank God.
Yeah.
Because you actually think they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
In
feel
your
like that
dream.
happens often. Like, it's crazy. Short-lived life. Maybe we're accessing like different parts of like reality and like it's happening.
Could be your
Infinite.
brain too, just like processing what would happen, like preparing.
Yeah.
Because like everybody goes.
How to handle. It's so complex.
Everybody goes at some point. We all see our parents go.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I've had before. I've dreamed where my parents have gone, they passed. I wake up bawling. I'm just like, oh shit. Like fuck, they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm just crying when I wake up,
And, you're like,
and then a
wait.
minute later, I'm fine.
You look over. You're like, wait, what? And you're back. Yeah.
But then I'm just like, those moments, they've happened like a handful of times as well. And after those moments, it's like you get a crazy feeling of like gratitude.
Mm-hmm. Feels good.
Yeah.
It's perspective. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
it freshens up your whatever problems you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you like a set of like, well, it could have been, and then like you forget about it, but it still affected you, and it's changed the way you think about
Right.
the way you live, moving
Right.
forward,
Right.
unconsciously. It's like kind of cool. It's
Mhm.
a good. I think it's a good mechanism, I guess, that we have how it's set up in our brain.
It's a
We're
strange
so
thing.
complex, dude. We're so
Strange
complex.
thing, man.
Isn't
It's
it
a strange
crazy
thing.
being a thing that's
This
so
all,
complex
this all
that-
came from us talking about whales
that
sleeping
we
perfectly.
can't even. Yeah, dude. It's crazy to me that like we don't even know what
Everybody
we
sleeps.
Are, like,
Everything sleeps.
well,
Everything has to
just
sleep.
Every level of us,
Yeah.
we can't wrap our minds around how it is we're even able to think. Like, yeah,
It's
we're
true.
able to think. It's fucking weird. Like we don't know any like.
It's consciousness.
It's scary. It's like not scary. It's just like.
Well, I think
How did
just
my
having
fucking cells do
yeah.
it, man? Like they bust their ass every day. And my body's running 110%, even though that's not possible all day. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just cooking, doing their thing, and I don't know what I'm not. Am I telling them to do it? They made me. Are they telling me to do what I'm doing? No. Like the body and mind being one thing is so like. Who controls the other? Does it matter? Like, how are they related? What's with the misunderstanding to where, like, the mind can't figure out what it is or what the body is. But does the body probably knows what the mind is? You know what I'm saying? Like, it knows. It created it. It knows what the mind is, how it works, because it created it.
Mhm.
The body, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You
'Cause
ever, yeah.
My mind didn't code the birth. Like, if it did, I'm unaware of how it did. And every human has been forever. Otherwise, we would be far more advanced species if our mind knew how we made ourselves.
Well, yeah, and sometimes too, like when you're talking about like the things your body does when you're just not thinking about it, like just to keep itself. Like I don't know, like there's those moments. I've had those moments, and I think everybody has those moments where you can slow down enough to where you can feel your own heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like you get a weird. It's a strange feeling because it's kind of like fleeting where it doesn't last that long because it needs to be in a situation where you can only pay attention to your heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
like a sensory deprivation tank or something. I would love to try.
or just like in your bed or like somewhere really quiet.
Yeah.
Or like but it's also in those situations that are like really like intense where you almost get in a car crash and your adrenaline spikes and
Well, that's
your heartbeat is pounding because all your senses are on go,
It's like when
and you
you're
need to save your car in your own body.
or like when you're a
You
kid
know?
and you're sneaking around the house at night trying to sneak out to go
Right.
smoke weed or something. You know, you're like,
And like,
we gotta be quiet.
and like
You know
after
what I'm
that,
saying? You're like heartbeat, your fucking heightened brain. You're like feeling that blood pump.
once that initial like feeling comes down a little bit, once that initial feeling comes down a little bit, and you can still feel your heartbeat, you're just
Yeah.
like, oh
My God.
my God,
Yeah.
like this is my body doing everything it knows how to do without me having to think one lick about it, and the brain is just firing everything it can to protect itself,
Mm-hmm.
to do what it knows best. And at the end of the day, that's always what we're going to do. Whether we know exactly what's going on or not. Like there's those moments when like everything just takes over.
Mm-hmm.
When you are in those life or death kind of like situations, or even in like just like incredibly like high stakes, when you really need to make like a really important decision.
Oh yeah.
When you're
I
like
agree
deciding on
completely.
something like, and
Fully.
your brain is working, like you're processing like so much, you're like thinking into the future, you're thinking about the past, like what you've done to get here, like trying to figure out like those situations where you're almost going into a mode that's
I control my body.
you're almost going into a
That's
mode
the most
that's
important
just
thing.
that's just like
You know what I mean?
hyper sensitized.
You have to control your body.
Yeah, you have to.
It needs you.
But it also controls itself
it,
without even like,
yeah.
you know, like you
But it
do,
will
you
die
do,
without your decisions. You need
Right.
It needs you.
but it's also
with everything,
Mhm.
and you need it with everything. You know what I mean? It's it's almost they're not separate.
we take it for granted for sure.
We can look at them as separates, but they are one.
Right.
They coexist. Just like my skin cell and my heart tissue cell are one. They coexist. They have to be one. It's like, you know, they've got different sets of code running them, but they're still like, without the other, they die. So it's a we are one, like whole system,
Yep.
at least on a personal level, as a biological thing.
Mm.
And we can look at it as like the mind is separate, but the idea of consciousness is separate. The brain is part of the body. It's the body. You know what I mean? The nervous system, it's the body.
Right.
Your senses, it's the body. And that's where it gets fuzzy, like where the line between our five senses gets like, where does the line of our five physical senses to external stimulus stop and our representation of the senses begin? Because that's us creating reality out of interpreting the information.
You know what's a crazy thought?
You know, where's that line?
You know what's a crazy thought?
Huh.
Like the brain itself,
Yeah.
it's like a universe.
Yeah.
Like,
Vast
can you
network.
imagine? Can you imagine being a person who is trying to map the brain,
Mm-hmm.
trying to map all of the connections, everything it does, all of those little sparks, all of those
Elon's trying.
all of those things, trying to map the brain.
It'd be a fucking
It's
hard.
a universe.
Yeah.
It's literally a universe, bro.
It's nuts.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how many, like,
You see that?
what is it called? Like neural connections.
You see that massive
There's, like,
microwave picture that
Millions, billions of neural connections.
they took? Yeah.
Like,
It looks like it's neuronic.
wait, what did you say? The picture of what?
It's like they took like a mathematical visual representation of a mathematics equation that is like representing the microwave radiation that exists in the universe. It's like a map of the universe. It's
Yeah.
like a heat wave signature that's like a massive zoomed out map
Mm-hmm.
that they're like, that information and data sets coming to us, blah, blah, blah. It's like this mathematics equation. It's beautiful, but it's just a massive web of neurons.
Yeah.
It looks exactly like it. It's a mathematical
Right.
equation. It came out to that, which is like weird, but
Yeah.
it's like kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't, it just makes sense.
I don't know.
I'm not like offended if, my universe is something's brain, whatever. Like, it's still I still gotta live my day. Like, it's
if we're just living in like some
fucking
vat of a
monkey
brain
or something.
yeah.
I don't know. It could be anything. Like, it doesn't.
It
really
is. It is
matter.
strangely. It is a strange coincidence how
It's
like the
cool to
map
think
of our
about.
brain, it kind of overlaid on top of the map of the known universe, is very eerily similar.
Strange. Like,
Strangely similar. That kind of pops up in nature, like more than you'd think.
there's a ton of sacred geometry that like
Yeah.
it's just laws of like. Oh, dude, I found something. That's totally sidestep, but that was just reminded me. I was thinking of like chemical equations, and I remembered they showed the equation for, I think it was like something methane gas. If you take saran wrap or cling wrap and wrap it around the top, the little nub of a banana, where like the stem is,
Yeah.
they don't go brown as fast because the stem is the release point of the fruit releasing methane gas of some kind, some variant of methane gas. And that is what travels down the banana skin in the air and speeds up the process of ripening and causes it to go brown faster. So if you just take some saran wrap, right, some cling wrap, and wrap it around like the knob of the banana, that traps the gas from escaping and getting on the skin of the banana, and it'll make them last like a week or two longer because they don't age as fast because the process never gets sped up.
That's
Due to the byproduct of the plant itself, which is weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. But it's kind of cool. Like, what are
It
you
is.
going to do?
Hey man, life is gonna find a way.
Yeah. Oh, always. It's beautiful.
It is. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to grab a Liney's. I want to grab a Liney's.
All right, we'll wrap it out.
Pleasure, Shorty. Get back in it. Like you said, we got to practice. What was it?
The muscle.
Practice the muscle, yeah. No,
Start
train the
lifting those
muscle.
weights.
Train the muscle. You got to lift the muscle weight.
I feel like it'd be good to get on a good routine.
Mm-hmm. Just do it.
Yeah,
Just got to do it. I got to do it. We got to do it. It's fine.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, boss. Until next time.
Until next time. Oh, my, I got my back at you with a white band.
Hey.
Hey, I don't even know what that was.